As many of you know, Printify launched their integration with Amazon. In this video, we're gonna walk through the step-by-step process from starting in Printify, creating your product, and then launching that product over to Amazon. I'm going to be showing you how to do a fully personalized listing, but this same tutorial can apply if you are doing non-personalized products. With that being said, you will need 3 things to follow this entire tutorial. One being a Printify account, as that is where we are going to be creating our products. 2 is going to be an Amazon Seller Central account. This is not to be confused with Amazon Merch. Those are 2 separate platforms. I do have a video on my channel that discusses Amazon Merch, what it is, how you get in, all of the details. So if you want to learn more about Amazon Merch, then definitely check out that video next. But for this process, you do need an Amazon Seller Central account. And it is important to know that you do have to be on their professional plan, which is going to be $39.99 a month. You will not be able to list products from Printify onto Amazon without the professional account. The final account that you will need, and this one is optional, but that is HelloCustom, as we are going to be integrating our listing with HelloCustom to automate the personalization of it today. I also think it would be incredibly helpful for you to check out the 2 previous Amazon videos that I made discussing this integration with Printify and Amazon. In those 2 videos, I am going through all of the commonly asked questions as well as account setup. So if that is something that you have not quite done or you haven't seen those videos yet, I will have those linked below. All right, now that all of that is out of the way, let's jump straight to the tutorial. If you are new to my channel, my name is Taylor. Hello. On my channel, I talk about all things print on demand, passive income, and entrepreneurship. So if any of those things interest you, be sure to boop the subscribe button down below. To get started, I'm here in Printify and I just went ahead and clicked into the mug that I'm going to be listing over on Amazon. When we scroll down through in Printify, if you weren't familiar, you can always see the different print providers that are available to fulfill that product order. Now with Amazon, currently you are only able to use US-based print providers, and you will be able to see that by this little not eligible. Because this print provider does not ship out of the US, we cannot use it to fulfill our mugs. Instead, we can use this print provider, District Photo, as it is going to ship out of the US. Depending on the product type, you might have more or less print providers, but it's always helpful just to take a look at some of the quality metrics that Printify analyzes with their print providers to determine if it's going to be a good fit for you. By clicking this little eye right here, I can get an overall view of quality, production speed, and samples and shipping, which all over 9 looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and click Start Designing. Over in Canva, I created this cute little design. I'm going to go ahead and download this so that I can upload it over to the mug that I'm going to be selling. It's important to make sure that you have toggled on transparent background when you are exporting your designs. Otherwise, the design is going to show up on your product with a big white box around it. We don't want that. Transparent background. And after downloading, I can go ahead and just drag and drop my design. While I am here, I wanted to preview what this mug looks like after I put the design on. It's just a little best practice to make sure everything looks how I am intending for it to look. And while I am here, I'm also going to download this mock-up. This is a step exclusive to if you are offering a personalized product. This is something that we are going to use later on in our process here. If you are creating a product that is non-personalized, you don't need to download a mock-up here. But for those who are doing a personalized product, you're going to want to download a mock-up, and preferably a mock-up where you can fully see the design like this one here. After we've done that, it's time to save the product, and we're gonna go ahead and fill in all of the listing details. Here we can select the mockup images that we want to use, and it's important to know that Amazon does have some specific guidelines in terms of what is and what isn't allowed with their mockups. As you can see, there are a few guidelines, but let me just tell you, to make it easy on yourself and to make sure that you are abiding by these guidelines, all you have to do is use the mockups that are provided by Printify. Don't worry about trying to do anything different with your mockups here. This is very unlike Etsy in the sense that Etsy mockup images are very curated and polished and lifestyle and have this, what I consider like a Pinterest aesthetic and vibe to them. Amazon is much different and has a very much different aesthetic to it. It is very plain white backgrounds, pretty simple, and Printify's mockups honestly already meet all of these requirements, and I think it's just the easiest route to go. Of course, you can still play around with which specific mockup images you want to use here. For example, with my mug, this mockup right here where it doesn't even really showcase the design probably isn't one of the best mockups for me to use. I much rather use something like this where you actually can see the design. So you can play around with the mockups that you are using, make sure it still of course showcases your product in the best way possible, but you don't have to overthink it and completely make your own mockups or anything like that. If you do wish to create your own mockups, still making sure that you're following Amazon's guidelines for your mockup images, you still do have the ability to do so just by clicking upload new here in Printify. Next step is you are going to want to optimize your listing here in Printify. I recommend making all of your adjustments, all of your finishing touches, everything that you want your listing to include it here on Printify. It is going to make it much more seamless for you in this product creation process to do it all right here in Printify. So some of the things that you are going to want to include are your title, your description, as well as Amazon has what they call their bullet points. And this is just an extra opportunity for you to utilize some of the keywords to describe your product. And something that I want to point out here is that SEO is pretty standard across the board in how it works and how it operates. Of course, there are differences in how certain algorithms on different platforms rank listings and things of that, but SEO at its core is essentially trying to identify what keywords a customer is typing in the search bar. If you want to see a full deep dive on Amazon SEO and how to completely fill out a listing, that is literally a whole video in itself. So let me know in the comments if you want to see something like that. But really using the same best practices that you used on Etsy, I think is still a great place to start. You can utilize Amazon's search bar just like you do Etsy's search bar. Just remembering that the main goal is to include keywords that your customer is typing into the search bar when they are looking for a product like yours. You also can use Printify's Generate with AI feature, which I've been personally playing around with this with my Amazon listings. When you click Generate with AI, it's going to want to know a little bit more about your product and it's going to essentially create a title for you. For this design, I'm going to say that this is a coquette-inspired teacher mug. I'll say coquette-inspired personalized teacher mug. And we will click generate. 3 seconds later, I have a title and product description that is really being heavy on these keywords that it has found others that are creating products like this are using and seeing success with. I'm gonna apply it to the listing. When it comes to the bullet points, I recommend really focusing on the keywords that you're wanting to rank for most within your bullet points. Keep in mind too that your bullet points still should be legible to a human. We don't want to keyword stuff. Just make sure that you are creating clear, cohesive sentences that a customer could read that still also includes the keywords that you're targeting. Now, this is a personalized listing. However, I am not actually going to enable this personalization component here on Printify. Let me explain why. This is a new feature with Printify. However, I am going to actually be using HelloCustom to do the personalization of our graphic. What's different between the personalization component here on Printify versus what HelloCustom is able to do is HelloCustom actually uses AI and is a little bit more intelligent because it uses artificial intelligence to actually read the personalization notes that you're receiving from a customer. If I have a customer order this mug and they say something along the lines of, can I have the mug say Mrs. Posada? What Printify is going to do is it is going to take that entire line and put it on the mug. So the mug is going to say, can I have this say Mrs. Posada? Whereas with HelloCustom, HelloCustom's AI actually reads that sentence, interprets it, and understands that they want the mug to say Mrs. Posada and not, can I have the mug say Mrs. Posada? HelloCustom is going to be the better solution in terms of automating this process process, which is why I'm going to use it, because I want this to be as hands-free as possible. The next block is for shipping, and shipping methods are actually something that need to be set up on Amazon itself, which Printify actually has a video that I think walks through this process very seamlessly. So I'm going to link their video that walks through how to set up your shipping profiles. It is literally the same tutorial that I followed and how I set up mine. I thought it was very straightforward, easy to follow step by step. So I'm gonna link that as a resource for you if you have not set up your shipping profiles. From there, we have pricing, where you can set the price for your products. Then from there, we have our publishing settings, where you can choose your variant visibility. So you could show all variants as available for purchase. This is something that I only do for select products. Apparel is a really good product to do this for, because there's so many different print providers that can fulfill the order if your product does happen to go out of stock. In this case, because I am selling this mug and the only other print provider that was available was outside of the US, I am actually going to leave this on only show in stock variants and hide any out of stock variants, because I don't have a backup print provider in case this were to go out of stock, and I don't want the headache of a customer ordering something thinking it's in stock, thinking it's available when it isn't. Once I've selected my publishing settings, it's time to publish this product. Now, this is where patience is a virtue, because Printify to Amazon is a slower process, and this is even the case if you manually create a listing on Amazon. They have a little bit of a delay in when the product actually shows to be live and active on their platform. Unlike Etsy, where it is nearly instantaneous, you don't have that same experience here. And so if this is taking a long time to publish, just know that that is completely normal. Generally, the more variations that you have of a product, so more size options, more color options, that is going to make the process take longer. So if you're uploading a apparel product, for example, with multiple sizes and tons of color variations, you might have upwards of 50 to 60 variations for that unique product, and that is going to take much more time. While we are waiting for that to publish over to Amazon, I thought it would be helpful to show you how to integrate your HelloCustom account. In HelloCustom, I went over to where my store names are. You can just click Add New Store, and it brings you to this screen here. For Amazon, you can see the Amazon integration right here, and I'm going to go ahead and just click Connect. And here you are going to type in your store name. After you click Connect, you'll be brought to this screen right here where you just want to toggle that you are okay with the connection. Click Confirm, and just like that, you are integrated. After doing so, it's going to bring you right back to HelloCustom, where you can confirm just by seeing your connected account here in your list of marketplaces. If you don't already have a HelloCustom account, I'm going to leave a special link for you in the description box below. It's a link that is going to give you lifetime access to HelloCustom for just a one-time cost. Normally, HelloCustom is a subscription, so it is going to save you a ton in the long run, especially as you might just be starting and building your print-on-demand business. At this step in our process, if you are selling a product that is not offering personalization, you have met the end of the road, my friend. This is all you need to do. You've successfully pushed your product over from Printify into Amazon, and you can go ahead and click into your listing to view and see what it looks like on Amazon. If you are creating personalized listings, this next step is going to be walking you through how to tell Amazon that this is a personalized listing and that they need to get some customer input for the order to be completed. Scrolling to the far right, you'll have these three little dots. You are going to click that, and you are going to click Add or Edit Customization Information. If you do not have this option, then what you need to do is sign up for Amazon Custom. I actually have this screen recording of when I signed up for Amazon Custom, and it literally took 18 seconds from the moment that I clicked sign up to actually getting granted access to Amazon Custom. So it was very easy to get into. It's literally just connecting your account. Once you do that, you should have this option next to your listing. Something that I do want to point out here though is that I am clicking this information while on the parent listing. What that means and what you'll see here is this listing actually has 3 different variations of it, and I can click this drop down to see each of the variations under it. If you are listing a t-shirt, for example, and there's tons of different sizes and colors, those all are individual unique variations, and those would appear under the drop down for the listing. When you push a product over, depending on how many variations that it has, is going to determine this little number next to the word variations and just how many listings you see under that drop down. So if you see a bunch and you have a lot of variations, that's why. You didn't do anything wrong. It's normal. It's just the way that it looks on Amazon. With that being said, when it comes to adding the personalization, it's important that you are making that modification to this parent listing, which is the top listing. You're not clicking into one of these single variations because you want that personalization to apply to all of the variations that you offer. If you only add the personalization to one specific variation, then it's not going to apply to all of them, and it's going to cause you a headache in what those orders look like, and it's just not going to work out the way that you're wanting it to work out. So you want to make sure that you're clicking these 3 little dots on the parent listing, add or edit customization information, and here we can go ahead and start adding in what we want to be personalized on our listing. You can see here that we have the warning that this is the parent listing. This is a good thing. We want this to be applied to all of the variations. So this is not a warning to panic for. I'm going to just go ahead and minimize that. For this listing, we have one area to personalize, and that is the name. Here is where we can add and manage all of our surfaces. And a surface on Amazon is described as the area that is going to have the personalized component. You can have multiple surface areas that you are offering customization on. However, you want to make sure that you are still following what limitations might exist within HelloCustom. For this design, I just have one surface, and that is for the name. When it comes to the label here for this surface, this is just for your own internal purposes. You don't necessarily have to name this something that the customer is going to see. If you remember earlier, we did download a mock-up image, which this is where we are going to upload that mock-up image. So as I mentioned, it was going to come back around. I'm gonna go ahead and upload that. And this is just gonna serve as a preview for the customer. Once all of that is added, we are now going to add our customization. And as you can see, there's tons of different options for what you can select. Of course, each of them gives some insight as to what they would be used for, but it's important to note that if you are using HelloCustom like I am, HelloCustom is going to work with the options for text, data, image, and number. If you are doing a image, so a personalized photo that goes on the product, for example, you are limited to just one photo or graphic at this time. So just be aware of that if you are using the image function, because Amazon will actually allow you to add more, but HelloCustom, you are limited to just one. Because this mug has a name, I'm going to go ahead and just use text and click add customization. In this text option, you have the ability to add different fonts. So if you wanted the customer to be able to select different types of fonts that they could use for that personalization, you could go ahead and add those in there. If you want to add in any custom fonts, just know that you would have to upload in the TTF file for that font. So just make sure that you have that if you downloaded a font, for example, from something like Creative Fabrica. You also have the option to add custom colors. So if you want your customer to have the ability to choose a different color for the font that they're personalizing, you also can add that option in here. After you've added in your font and color options, now it is time to do your text customization. This is going to be name, and then I'm going to just copy from the top here this instruction. And you can also put some sample text. So I will put the sample text to match what is already in the custom design. And you want to include a character limit. This is going to be, of course, important if you can only fit so many things on the mug. So in this case, I'm going to just put a character limit of 25. Where it's asking for position and size, the easiest thing for you to do, and what I recommend, is just highlighting a small little area off in the background somewhere. So let me show you what happens if you don't do that, and then what it looks like if you do. So Generally what this is asking for is just where the personalized component is. So I could select right here and say, this is where I want that personalization to be. What that looks like for the customer, when I click preview, this is what the customer is going to see, where they're able to put in the name. And if they start typing in what they want this to say, it is going to input that text right over top of that highlighted area. This can be a little bit confusing, I think, sometimes for the customer, and which is why I recommend just making the box a small little area up off into the corner. So if I go like this, make it as tiny as possible. Then if we click preview, as the customer's typing that in, they don't see that, and I just think it looks a little bit cleaner. They kind of already know what the mug is going to look like based off of this image. So I really just don't think it's necessary. After you've added in all of the details for the personalization component, we are gonna just click publish. And these changes can take up to 30 minutes. The theme with Amazon is just everything. It's a little slower than what we're used to with Etsy. So patience is key. What we can do now though is actually link this listing to HelloCustom. As I mentioned earlier, HelloCustom is going to automate the personalization for me so that when I receive an order on this product, I don't have to go back into Canva and manually type in the name that the customer wants. In my experience, that ends up being a pretty clunky process, and not that it's not doable, but it's just something that's not really sustainable. And so instead with HelloCustom, all I have to do is just approve each order with the click of a button, manually scan it with my eyeballs, and then hit that approve. So much more simple. And how we can actually set that up is here in HelloCustom, I'm gonna go to templates, and I'm going to add a new template. The PNG that I used earlier to upload into Printify is the same PNG that I can go ahead and upload here now. Next up, we want to connect this to the listing on Amazon. How we're gonna do that is just clicking product variants. Here I can see the mug, go ahead and click that, and then I can see the variants that are available. As we were editing the personalization on Amazon, it was important to note that we were editing the parent listing, which the parent listing basically covers all of the different variants that are available for that product. And here we can see each of those variants. I mentioned that there was 3 variants for this product that we were able to see over on Amazon. And depending on the product type that you are selling, there might be more or less, just depending on how many options you have available, all of the different sizes that you offer, different color variations, all of those create additional variants, and you want to make sure that they are all checked off here. They are, so I'm gonna go ahead and just click update. And then the next thing that I need to do is basically tell HelloCustom what part of this is meant to be personalized. So I'm gonna click onto Mrs. Posada here. After selecting the name, we wanna add a tag. And for this is going to be tagged as a name. If you have more than one personalized component to your design, you want to make sure that you click and tag each of those individually. The final step would be to publish as active. Because this mug does have 2 print areas, it's printing on the right and left side of the mug, so that no matter if my customers are righty or lefty, however they're holding the mug, you will see the design. Because it has those 2 different print areas, this is considered a multi-graphic product. And the design and the graphic is the same on both sides, but I do need to make sure that both are selected here so that it is going to personalize both of the names on both sides so that it matches. All I have to do is just toggle this and save. And our template has been successfully created. Here is what our final listing looks like. You can see everything has imported from Printify to Amazon. Be sure to check the description of this video, as I'm going to have every resource that I mentioned throughout this video linked there. You'll also find my past 2 Amazon videos just answering all of the commonly asked questions about Printify and Amazon's integration. If you haven't done so already, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. As always, I hope you are having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.